Hello, everybody at PSK. It's Noah Katz. I just wanted to say hello. I wanted to do a quick message. I haven't done one of these messages in a while. And I wanted to, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. 2025. We are going to have a great year, 2025 at PSK. So many good things ahead of us. I was up here today in the office. I'm signing checks today. Normally, either I sign all the checks to all the vendors or Ed Hunt does it. And we send out the, obviously, checks and pay for all the goods that are coming into all the stores. And I'm here signing checks today, and I thought it would be a good opportunity just to review something and make sure everybody is totally on the same page. Again, probably nothing you don't know here, but it's always a good idea to review these things. So I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about this stamp that we use when we retail our bills and when we sign our bills and when we receive merchandise. And I want to talk about shrink control. Those are the two things I'm going to talk about in this message. So if you could just give me a few minutes of your time, it would be appreciated. Again, I think this will be helpful. Okay, first of all, I want to thank everybody for using this stamp when you're receiving merchandise in our stores. This stamp, and I drew it up here on the board, it has 6 boxes, your store number, it has the name of the person who received the merchandise, how many cases you got, the total cost of the bill, the total retail of the bill. How much money would we get as a company if everything on that bill that you're receiving from Utz, from Frito-Lay, from First International, from the local honey vendor, you're receiving a bill. If every single case, if every unit on that bill made it through the register and you retailed the bill, how much money would that generate for the company? And that goes on the top right-hand corner of the stamp. So you know what this bill that you're receiving costs you if you're checking in a bill, and you know how much money you're getting back. And so in this case, we got $901 back. The cost of that bill was $585. And so and of course, the formula for figuring out gross profit percent, which is in the bottom right-hand corner, is profit, is the profit divided by the retail. Profit divided by retail. We want everybody to memorize that. So the profit, $901 minus $585 is 400 and change. So you divide 400 divided by 900, and you got 34.9%, which is a good number for direct vendors that come into our stores. When you're retailing your bills, everybody, this is the important part. You want to make sure if it's all the direct vendors that we deal with, all of your soda vendors, your chip vendors, every direct vendor that comes into your store, you want to make about 35% or maybe even a little more, because we give away a lot of groceries on the front page of the ad. We have a lot of markdowns with our super coupon expense, our Green Point program. We lose money on some of the items on the front page of the ad. So you have to balance it out. And the way you balance it out is you make a certain minimum gross profit on everything coming in from your direct vendors. Here's a few bills. Look at this one. I just put a few on the side. Here, that's this bill up here that Lewis in Pathmark received, 34%. Terrific. Here's another one. Here, let's take a look. This one came in at 35.67%. This is Big Geyser, a vendor that we do business with. Here's another Big Geyser bill. This one came in at 38%. When you retail a bill, this is the question you want to ask yourself. Am I making my minimum gross profit goal? Because if you're not making enough money on the merchandise, then we're never going to come out as a store. And I just want to show you something. Here's a bill from Big Geyser from one of the stores. Doesn't matter which one right now. This one only retailed at 23%. So that something is definitely wrong. When you retail a bill, if the gross profit is low, then what you want to do is stop, call the manager, call the supervisor. Let's figure out, why is this bill not generating the profit that we need? Couple other key points on this. There are some vendors that are just like fantastic partners for us, like First International, all the Brad's merchandise. I have a set of bills here from that company. I mean, every one of these bills retails at like 35%. And we're averaging between $10,000 and $25,000 at cost with this vendor. So this is a great partner for our company. Let's talk about potato chips for a minute. I have the potato chip checks here from a few weeks ago. Here's a few. This is interesting. Utz potato chips, I'm signing a check for $49,000. Hers potato chips, I'm signing a check for $15,000. And then Wise potato chips, only $4,500. But look at this. Frito-Lay, look at this, how much we took from Frito-Lay this week. This was right after Thanksgiving. Frito-Lay was a $124,000 check that's going out to Frito-Lay for the whole chain. Now, I want to talk about Frito-Lay versus Utz versus Hers. And again, I'm sorry if anybody from Frito-Lay is ever going to see this video, but Frito-Lay is not the greatest partner for us. They really don't let us make a full margin on any of their products. It's a challenge because, yes, they have a great product. The consumer wants those Tostitos and those potato chip products, but we really don't make any margin on them. What happens with Frito-Lay is that they give us the $3 bag cost, or even the $2 bag cost, but they make us sell it for $2.49. They'll only give us that deal cost if we sell it for a certain retail. On the other hand, great partner, Utz potato chips, when they give us that $2 cost, they'll let us go out $2.99, $3.48. So you're making money on Utz. So here's what you want to think about as you're retailing your bills and as you're going through all of this. What you want to think about is vendors that are making a really good margin on. You want that merchandise displayed in your store in very prominent places. Take the Tostitos for Super Bowl and put it in the back of the store. Take the Utz potato chips that you're making, 35 or 40% on, and have those in the front of the store. And of course the Brad's potato chip products. Try to get the higher gross profit merchandise into the shopper's wagon earlier in the shopping trip. You want to think like this, because this is how owners think, because we're all owners. We're an employee-owned company. Okay, I just want to switch gears and talk about shrink control for 1 minute. I want to share a story with you. Okay, I was recently in a grocery store in Queens. That was a smaller grocery store. It was an owner-operated store. Owners that I happen to know, a husband and a wife team that own a grocery store in Queens. And I went and I visited them and I met them for coffee and we were talking. And it was so interesting when I walked through their store, how neat, clean, and organized it was. It was spotless. We went down to the basement. Every single case was perfectly aligned. There was literally no shrink whatsoever in this building. I mean, in any of the departments, it was a zero shrink situation. It was remarkable. It's a husband and a wife, owner operators that own this store. Why is there no shrink? There was not one loose can of merchandise in this store. Every single area of cases and merchandise was perfect. For example, they bought in on Pepsi 12 packs. This is a retailer that probably never pays full price for Pepsi 12 packs. They had about 200 cases of Pepsi 12 packs in the various flavors in the back room, and it was so stacked neatly and perfectly like the Pepsi warehouse. And just a zero shrink situation in this store, in the basement and the back room. Why? Because it's an owner operator. It's the husband and the wife running this store with their team, and they're literally handling every case that comes into the store like jewelry and making sure everything is perfect. And they were even telling me, like, if something in the meat department goes bad, like a roast beef, they bring it to the deli and they cook it. They literally have no shrink because it's theirs. It's their store. And I thought this was interesting to pass on because these are the owner operators of the store. But aren't we really owner operators as well as an employee-owned company? So I would say for 2025, among other things, let's set a goal. Let's go to zero shrink. Let's talk to our people in the stores how important it is to handle everything properly, to have nothing going outdated in our stores. Let's watch the dates so nothing goes outdated. Let's keep the back rooms, the basements, NCO, neat, clean, and organized. Let's write down the dates on all the cases that come into our store of the day that it came into our store. So as you're walking around, you can see how old the merchandise is if you need to move it out. And let's go to zero shrink, because let's remember something. Every single dollar in shrink that you reduce shrink by goes right to the bottom line. It increases your profit. It literally is a 1-for-1 ratio. So let's reduce shrink in 2025. Okay, this video went over 10 minutes. Sorry it went a little long, but I thought it was an important topic. I hope all is well. We talked about the stamp. We talked about reducing shrink. More to come. We hope you're doing great out there, and we thank you for everything you're doing in the stores. And more to come, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody.